are just waiting for everyone to come on in and join us, as we are going to be doing a process party tonight. So it's a little bit after 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and we are going to be looking at some of the images that we took last night, which, by the way, was a phenomenal night to take images. And welcome, the Space Place. So we are just waiting for people to get the notification from YouTube. It always takes a little bit, but I just don't want to wait too long. What nebula is this? This is what's called IC2177. It is the Seagull Nebula. I'm actually going to put... I could do... Let's see here. Here's what we can do. IC2177. Alright, so what I'm going to do, change the color on that. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move some stuff around here. Actually, we'll put this one over here. There we go. There we go. There we go. So this way you have it there. Alright, actually I like this in white. This is probably better. In white font. There we go, that's better. Okay, there we go. That's better. Alright, perfect. There we go. Yes, it was the Seagull Nebula. And what I did was I put it up on there so you'll be able to see the name of the object, which is nice. We took 7 exposures of 5 minutes apiece. And we did this in hydrogen alpha, which we did an H alpha filter. So we are going to be able to stack this and see what we get. Now, also, new things that we did, which is kind of cool, is we have songs listed on the bottom right. So, if you look, you can see on the right-hand side, you can see the songs. Who sings a song, and the name of the song. And then at the very bottom, faded, you can see the progress of the song. So this way, we will know when the song ends. So we're adding more things as we go along with the stream. You're going to notice more things. I'm going to be adding as I go along, more interactive. Making it easier for you guys to see everything. So if there's a certain song that you guys like that I'm playing, you can find out who they are and play it on your own time, which is kind of cool. Instead of saying, oh, I wonder who's singing that song. So, we have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to stack this. If you're new to the channel and not knowing what this is all about and everything, this is what's called Deep Sky Stacker Live, or Deep Sky Stacker. We used the live last night. Left-hand side, naturally, you're going to see the settings. Okay, so you have open picture file, dark files, flat files. Those are all calibration frames and just certain things to look at. You can open a file, clear the list, check all. If you're not familiar with Deep Sky Stacker, I'm going to go over just a tiny bit. It'll be like a basic thing, but this is a stacking software where you'll be able to take many images and then be able to stack them and get a really good image. And this is what's called the process party. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, now what I did first is we're going to look at each image individually, okay? And you're going to notice there's a bit of difference in the change of image over the course of time. So this was the first image we took. Alright, this is the second image. Okay, this is the third one. 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you see the 7 images there, which is really nice. And it's a good practice to go through each image individually, just in case, because you never know if you're going to find an artifact, as in plane, satellite, asteroid, something in the area. You want to be able to look at everything. Sometimes, like, you know, a car light or a floodlight, you never know. You want to make sure that these images are as pristine as possible all the way through. So what I usually do is I look to find the best image out of the bunch, and looking at this one, that first one jumps out at you. It's just the best. And what I do is, this is what's called the ROI, which is the region of interest. And what you want to do is you want to cut off the edges, because you could see a little bit on the right hand side right here. The stars are warped, and you don't want that. So, like you could see here, they're just not good. Same thing with the corners. I don't like that. So we're going to get rid of that to make this a nice pristine image all the way around. Plus, when you're stacking it, what can happen is you start getting it tilted, because as it's going through the night, the image is going to start to tilt a little bit. And as you get the whole image, it's not as good. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to just do a detection threshold to see how many stars are in the image. Usually I want about 50. Now I'm working on it in the background so you can't see it. It's just another window that pops up, which we're going to be doing. So I got about 42, so that should be good. So we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to register the pictures. So it's going to go fairly fast, so we shouldn't have any problems. So it's running in the background right now, and it's going to stack all those images, which is not a lot. It's only 7. Right now it's registering the 5th one of 7. Alright, it's on number 6. And now it's going to register the 7th one. And what it's doing, like I said, is registering, looking at all the stars and using those as a stacking point. Now it's going to stack each image individually, where it's going to use an offset and angle to make sure if it has to adjust the image. This takes off time that I have to do. Yeah, granted, you could take every image itself and actually line them up individually, which you could do, but this program does it for you, which is extremely nice. And it only takes about 2 to 3 minutes for the whole process to finish. The better processor that you have, the better RAM you have, the faster this will go. I remember having my old laptop, it would take about 20 minutes to run a simple stacking program. So this one is going to be really fast. So right now we're on the 7th of 7. Alright, and now what it's going to do next is it's going to save the final image. Okay, and now it's going to load the final image. So here we go. Here comes the final image. This is a 35-minute total time exposure. So we'll be able to see what's coming up here next. I'm letting it all go do that. There we go. Alright, so now when you're looking at this image, you say, well, it doesn't look that promising. I mean, really, they don't see any detail at all. Well, this is where you use the histogram, okay? You have your RGB and K levels, that what you're going to use. Now, even though this is a monochrome camera, I used it as a colored palette, which is fine. So we're going to move the red. What you want to do is you want to get this right in the middle of that curve. And you can see you want all three of them to match. You can see how the colors are nice. There's no overlap, or no on the outside. It's a nice overlapping three colors, as nice as you can get it. Okay. The next thing you're going to see is what's called darkness, mid-tone, and highlight. Okay. For my darkness, and again, I've talked about this before in the past, is that there's no wrong way of doing this. Everybody does everything differently. So I like to keep my darkness at 100 and 0 degrees. Keep that as low as you can, okay? The midtones, you want to keep it between 6 and 7 degrees. And then you want to bring this right where it intersects. So right here. You want to get it right in that middle part. And then the highlights you want to bring up, but not too much where it clips it. Okay? And then hit apply. And now what it's going to do is it's going to give you that stacked image where it's going to look really, really, really good. And you could see the detail and everything on this. And then at this point, then this is when you can start messing with the image a little bit, getting it darker, moving it around to pull out some more detail if need be. I like that a lot better. Alright, perfect. So then what we're going to do, the next thing is we're going to hit Save Image. Alright. IC2177. So we're going to save it. Okay, so now it's going to be saved onto the desktop. And now that's just the stack, and this is what's called pre-process. Okay, you can fiddle with the histogram, do whatever you gotta do with that, and that for that part. Now, we're gonna pull up what's called Photoshop. Now, Photoshop is a post-process, so we're gonna do that now. So we're gonna move right over to Photoshop. Okay. Alright. Loading as we speak here, so give it a second. There we go, so now it's loaded. Okay. And now we're going to open it up now. Alright, here we go. Alright, so now it is loaded. Stars look really good. I'm very impressed with that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, now that you see the whole image here, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to create a layer. So this way I can save it. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to do what's called RC Astro, and we're going to use what's called a gradient exterminator. And what this is going to do is it's going to level how flat the image is. Okay. Okay, so now it's done. Okay, so now you're going to see the difference in the image. Okay, so I want to show everyone. This is with the gradient exterminator. Okay. This is without. Right there. This is without. Very subtle. Very, very, very subtle. But what's happening is it's a flat image. You're not getting any warps. You're not getting anything with that. You can see right there, which is nice. Alright, so that's the first part we're going to do. The next one we're going to do is you're going to see some lines. They're, again, very, very subtle, but they are lines. And I'm going to zoom in and show everyone, okay? There is some lines going that are horizontal. We're going to get rid of those, okay? And that is what's called the horizontal banding. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another layer. By the time it's over, we're going to have about 7 or 8 layers, which is perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is it's going to do the horizontal banding right now. And again, these are Carbani tools. These are pre-plugins that you can get that does everything for you. Makes the stars smaller, space noise reduction, deep space noise reduction, enhanced DSO, and reduce the stars, increase the star color if you're doing a colored image, less crunchy, more fuzzy. You can create a copyright. You can construct an RGB image out of a monochrome. You can synthesize the green channel, soft color gradient, hard color gradient, and so on. There's so many different things you can do, and they're all pre-processed, which is nice. So now, if you look here, if I were to go over here to where we were, in this section here, if I were to take it off, you're going to notice, again, this is off, and this is on. You can see how the horizontal banding went bye-bye. Okay, and then looking at this, there's no vertical banding, so we're good. Okay, so now that is good. That's what we want. Alright, so now we can zoom out a little bit here. Okay. What I'd like to do next is the levels. Okay. So we'll create another layer. We'll do the levels here. And it's a nice, firm image here, so this is good. And then what we'll do is we'll stretch it just a little bit here to get some more detail on the nebula. There we go. So we stretched it out just a little bit more. Okay. And now what we're going to do is the next one is making the stars smaller. Now, with this one, again, these are the little subtle changes. So we're going to zoom in here. Okay, so we'll look at these stars right here. Okay, we're going to zoom in even further. Okay, so these are good looking stars. Not too bad. So we're going to do this. We're going to make another layer. And we're going to hit go. So now it's going to make the stars smaller. So again, it's using these presets, the step-by-step. There's probably about 20 to 30 in each one of these. That's why you see a little triangle next to each one. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see all those little triangles because those are all sub-menus. So it's just going through its process now, very slowly. Alright, now it's doing a minimum. Alright, it's just about done here. Some of these songs are really long. There we go, that's fine. That's good there. About halfway through. It's what it's doing is this is stuff you can't see because it's in the background, but what it's doing is it's creating an image size, creating a minimum, it's doing a pass through, it's doing a bunch of stuff. Exactly. Fitting song, exactly. What I did was I was going through all the playlists and everything and seeing what songs are good. I probably spend more time looking for songs than I do looking for stars. It's kind of interesting. Just about done. It's about 80% right now. Alright, so now it's done. Okay. So what I'll do is, again, that is the edge there, but we can go over here to where we were, and I want to show everyone what the stars look like. Okay, so we'll use these stars here. Okay. Let's see, and then we can take this off, and you can see what the stars do. You can see how it's a more smoother image, and it's less grainy. See that? Just looks smoother, and it looks better. So Troy has a question. Do you think I can see the Orion Nebula with the Sky Watcher Heritage 130p? Would the Canon EOS 1100D be any good for astrophotography? Well, that is a great question, considering that I actually have one right here that's sitting in front of me that I haven't used. I've used it in previous streams. My 1100D, which actually has a different name for it, which is crazy. It's the Rebel XS, which is the 1100D. I have one, and it's here. It's modified. So I have one here, which is really cool. I like it, but the best way to do it is if you're in a dark sky site. If you're not in a dark sky site, you're not going to get too much with the 1100D. However, you actually have a big enough scope. You have 130 millimeters. That's a pretty big scope. 130. I mean, you're looking at... That's 5 inches. That's a 5-inch scope. Depending on your focal length of your scope, Orion might be too big. And what that means is that if it's too big, it may not fit in your field of view. But, on the other hand, the 1100D has a pretty big sensor. Sensor size on that is... I actually have it pulled up. Let's see. Equipment. Let's see. Oh, I have the 1000D. I'm sorry. So, I have the 1000D. The 1000D has a sensor size of 22 by 15, that's a pretty big... It's a very big sensor. So, yeah, I have the 1000D. So you have the 1100D, which is just the next model, which is not bad. So then what we're going to do is we're going to create that, and now we're going to do what's called space noise reduction. I think you mentioned it before in a different stream, but I was not sure if it was the right one. Yeah. It's a digital camera. Now keep in mind with the digital camera is that it's not going to be cooled. Okay, what that means is that the temperature outside, usually you have to add roughly 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, or, you know, quite a significant amount in Celsius, because the sensor gets hot. So you gotta be very careful when you're imaging with a DSLR. I mean, what I can do, Tom, is I can actually... What is your focal length of your telescope? And I can actually tell you what your field of view is. I'm actually... Actually, you wanna know what? I can pull it up for you. We can do a little bit of homework here. Let's see. You said it's the Skywatcher Heritage. 130p. I'll tell you in 1 second here. Alright. 650 focal length. Okay, so I'm putting that in there. Okay. And now I'm just looking up the 1100D, the sensor size here. It's 22.2 by 14.8. Okay. Now what I can do is I can tell you if it fits or not. Alright, so then we'll do the Heritage with the 1100D. Alright, let's see. Now, keep in mind that I don't know if you have any, what is it, focal producers or anything. Oh, it'll fit perfectly. The only problem you're going to have is that you have to make sure that the camera is tilted at an angle, because if you were to do it horizontal, straight there, it's not going to fit. So the best way to do it, and here's what I'm going to do is, Tom, are you on my Discord? I don't know if you are or not. What I'm going to do is I will post a picture on the Discord of what your field of view looks like, and then I can show you. There we go. How do you cool it down? They actually have cool boxes, but they're pretty expensive. What the cool box does is that will actually cool the sensor. It's called a cold plate. And what that cold plate does is that you could set the temperature, just like what a CCD camera can do. So, here's what I can do for you, Tom. Yeah, so there's, if you look up at the top there where it says discord.gg/ZG capital Q 6 little v 6T, that will get you right to my Discord, and then from there you can actually see the picture of what your field of view would look like with your setup, and then you can make the determination of tilting the camera. But you should be okay. You should be in good shape, because the Running Man's going to be a little tough. But you should be alright. So now this is with the space noise, so you can see, again, these are very subtle changes, but when overall, so we're going to zoom this all the way in, and you can see this is without space noise reduction, this is with space noise reduction. So you can see there's a little subtle change to it, make it a little bit smoother, a little bit, nicer. Okay. And what we're gonna do is then we're gonna go do the deep space noise reduction. There we go. There we go. So now you're getting more detail out of this image. And now what the next one we're going to do is we're going to do an enhanced DSO and reduce the stars even more. This one is a long process. So while it's doing this, we're going to go back to Deep Sky Stacker Live. Okay? While it's doing this. So we'll flip this back to Deep Sky Stacker. Alright? And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next image that we took, which is the Medusa. Okay. Which was a Bell 21. Yes, you will. You will definitely need a T-ring. Alright, so again, this is the Medusa Nebula that we got on the same night. And again, we took quite a bit of these. You can see it's a little bit darker. But you got some good detail with this. Some really good detail with this. I'm not, but I will join soon. Cheers, so I can also Google it. Yes, you most certainly can. But what I did for you is I input everything. Now, what I use is called Sky Safari. And with Sky Safari, it's an app for your phone, and what I did was I used I plugged in everything. I plugged in your focal length, your aperture, your telescope, and the sensor size of your camera, and it will give me a field of view of anything in the night sky. So as long as I know it's 130 millimeters in aperture, 650 millimeters in focal length, and I know it's 22.2 by 14.8, I know exactly what it is. And then I can pull it right up from there, which is nice. Alright, so what we're going to do is we took 5 of these, because we were getting close to the meridian when we did this. So we're going to do this, and go. So now it's going to stack these. So it's 2 less. We did 7 with the other one. This one's going to be 5. Alright, so now it's finished registering them. And now it's going to start stacking them, which is nice. Yeah, and doing the DSO is going to take forever to do. Oh, Quincy, Dogecoin to the moon. So the image looks really good. Yes, this image that we're looking at here is a Bell 21, which is the Medusa Nebula. The first one we did was the Seagull Nebula, which is IC 2177. And we're just about done here. Alright, so now it's saving the final image here. And this is 25 minutes of Medusa. Now, again, this is from last night's stream, which we were on for about 4 hours. And we had lessons on all these objects, how they got their names, where they're located in the sky, their magnitude, everything. Everything you could possibly think of about these objects we learned last night. We were on till about 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So we did as best as we could, because in such a short period of time, only because it was the only night that's been clear in 3.5 months. So we really did as best as we could. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with this one as what we did with the last image. Is take these down to the preset, right about there. Bring that up and hit apply. Oh yeah, the Medusa looks great. That is phenomenal. Waiting for it to come through here. Hang on, what I'm gonna do? It looks like it's lagging. Hang on, we're gonna see what we're gonna do here. Take that off and see what happens here. There we go. It was really laggy there for a second, but now it's working. Okay. So, this is the next image for the Medusa. So we're finished with that. Did you see the Great Conjunction? Sort of. I got it with my phone. Only because it was like super low here in the horizon. So I really didn't get much, unfortunately, from there. But I did take a picture of it with my phone when it was at its almost closest. I think I have Sky Safari, though, only the free one. Yeah, definitely check it out. You should check out Sky Safari and go to the equipment. First, go to settings, then you go to equipment, and then you should be able to add in anything, and you'll check your field of view from there, which is really, really nice. You should be good to go with that. I want to make it a little bit darker. There we go. Kind of looks like the Crescent Nebula that which we got last summer. Is it possible, so Tom has another good question, is it possible to stack images taken from my phone? Because I used a tripod to take some pics of the night sky, including Orion's belt, and used the ISO of my mobile camera to take the picture. Though, do you think it could stack them because they are not flats, darks, or lights? You technically could. What the best way to do that is to take those images, put them on your computer, and then import them into Deep Sky Stacker. Then use a region of interest, like what I was showing everybody. It's like click and hold it till that red box shows. And you should technically be able to do it. I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, you shouldn't have any problems at all. Hey, Kim. We're going to save that. I mean, I've never personally tried it, Tom, so I really don't know. But theoretically, you should be able to, because there's no difference of whether you take an image with your Canon camera or you take it with your phone. The only thing is, I'm going to advise you, is that when you take an image with your phone, it's a compressed file. Okay? I'm sure everybody's heard this before, is that RAW, JPEG, you want the raw image because it's an uncompressed file. When you get a raw image, it's a pristine image. It's right as you took it. Okay. When you get a compressed image, it's very grainy. It's very small. With the phones, they won't give you that option to put it as a raw image. But again, don't get me wrong. I would try it too. Maybe one day we will try that over the summer. Is I put this on a tripod and just keep hitting as we go along and see what we get. I don't see why we couldn't. Have you seen the eye of, I'm guessing that's Saturn? Yeah, there's a little bit of buffering only because it's running it's running two programs at the same time, so give it a second here. It's going, just give it a second. It is, because I'm running two programs at the same time, so give it a second. Okay, I'm gonna try to fix it here. It's playing catch up, so give it a second. Thinks I will try stacking them. Awesome. What's the difference between flats and lights, though? Well, the difference is with flats is you have to take it in a flat surface. So what that means is you have to have a light source that's flat. Now for me, what I use is what's called an artist sketchboard. And that artist sketchboard will give you the... Actually, we'll do this here. Sorry. So it'll give you a constant light from all the way across from left to right. So in an image like this, I should be using flats because the corners are they're pulled a little bit, and you'll get a nice even surface. The lights are what you take on a nightly basis. So this is a light frame. Light frames are going to be your stars. Your darks are with a lens cap over your telescope, and you take images. So this way you get rid of the thermal noise, which is your hot and cold pixels. So Kim wants me to show Tom the moon photos. And actually, if Tom goes right to Discord, Kim's pictures are actually right on there. I think they're here. Yep. In the image corner. Because that is where we have all the pictures and everything there. I got a tripod from Amazon for my mobile phone that I used. Though I do have a phone mount adapter to hook up my phone. That is awesome. That is super, super, super cool. I'm trying to think, is it caught up yet? I think it's caught up. Let me see. Should be caught up. Okay, it is. Okay, good. So it's caught up. There was a little bit of a lag there before, but now we're good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip back to Photoshop because we saved this image. Now we're going to go back to Photoshop and finish this image off of the seagull, which again is IC2177. So we're doing two things at the same time, but we're having fun at the same time. So now you're starting to see detail. You're starting to see a lot coming out of this image. And as you can see, the hydrogen alpha is starting to stand out, and that's what we want. We want this as best as possible. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get this here. I'm going to go back to this here. My question is why is it doing that? Shouldn't. Oh, there it goes. Okay, perfect. Okay. Good, 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 good. Alright, so it's a little delayed, but that's okay. So now we can zoom in on this and see all the detail that we're getting. Which actually is a really awesome picture. What we're going to do next is we'll create another layer. And now what we can do here is we'll show you the top image here, okay? And we show you what we originally were looking at, okay? So this is the image that we have right now. This is the image that we had to start. As you can see that it's a lot more detailed, it's a lot more smoother. The stars look a little bit smaller, they look a bit more vibrant. It just looks so much better. Alright, so then the next thing we're going to do is what's called less crunchy, more fuzzy. Yeah, you said it's 3:47 a.m. at your time. And that's okay. And that is okay. I mean, I appreciate you coming on and sharing and also helping out too. So I appreciate it, Tom. Again, make sure you are joining my Discord, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay? Because I would love to have you on. Would love to be able to help you out in anything that. Again, we have a great community, and I would love to do everything. Alright, so that is the Seagull Nebula in a nutshell, and of what we got for detail on this one, which turned out really, really well. I'm very impressed in how we got this. I mean, we can work with the noise, we can work with a bunch of things here. I can try to do reduce noise, or I can try to get some of the noise out. Alright, so we're trying to do that there. So this way you're going to see a little bit less noise in the image, so it's going to be even smoother. So now it's reducing the noise. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now what you're gonna see is you're gonna see this one without the noise, and this is with the noise. Again, subtle, but makes all the difference in the world, especially when you're looking at this with a microscope, because we all know astronomers do this constantly. We'll look at this and be like, okay, let's see. Very, very impressed with this. So that is the Seagull Nebula, which is nice. We can minimize this, get it lower down. Bring that down there. There we go. Move this over. So that is your Seagull. Now we'll pull up a Bell 21. There we go. Which, by the way, a Bell looks darn good. So what I want to do is we're going to get only the star cluster and the Medusa. We don't need anything else. I don't care about anything else with this image. We're going to crop it, so we're only going to get just those two. That's all you need. So we're going to make this bigger here. There we go. So that is Medusa. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer. Okay. We're going to do Control D, because we're going to deselect. And then we're going to do the Gradient Exterminator. So this way it'll be a nice flat image. There we go. Again, a little subtle difference, but nothing too big. Just enough so that way we can see some wonderful detail. You can see that I do the same thing for every single image, just because it just makes sense. So then we will increase this here to get a little bit more detail. Perfect. Alright. Then we're going to make the stars smaller. Go. There we go. Now this one won't be as bad, only because it's a smaller image. We cropped it, so it won't be as bad, so we're not doing too many of this. Alright. Then we're going to do some horizontal banding. Okay. Perfect. Then we're going to do some space noise reduction. Okay, and then we're going to do some deep space noise reduction. Okay, we're going to create another layer. Okay. And then we're going to do the enhanced DSO, which again, that one takes the longest time, but that's okay. But it's a smaller image, so it won't take, I'm hoping, it won't take long. And again, we're looking at things that are somewhat faint. These are not bright objects. These are not like, you know, the Heart Nebula or the Soul Nebula or the North American Nebula, the Pelican. You know, these are fairly faint. These are 10th and 8th magnitude. They're not easy. And we're pulling out a lot of good details. And just because it's hydrogen alpha does not mean we're getting some light pollution. We are. And it still can be tough. So we're nailing it. So right now what it's doing is it's doing the temporary action copy. It's going through all the minimum and layers and all the step by step. It's just going through everything, which is going to take some time, but it's okay. So it's taking its time here, which is fine. There we go, now it's done. Alright. So now we'll do the next one here, which is less crunchy, more fuzzy. Okay, and then we will do the noise. There we go. Actually looks really good. I'm pretty impressed with that, actually. That's actually pretty cool. This one's going to take a little bit more work with the Medusa, but it definitely is really cool. Definitely got some good data with this one. And we saved the best one for last. Yeah, we did do the star cluster with that nebula inside, and that was good and all, but I want to do the next one, and it's the final one of the night. So we are going to do M51, and not only M51, but we're going to do it in color. And you're probably wondering, well, how do you do it in color? What do you have to do to get this thing in color? Well, what we're going to do is first we're going to go back to... I'm going to minimize it so that way you can see the images again. Go back down here. go. So that way it'll be right in the middle there. So there's your two images there. So that's set. And now, we're gonna go back to Deep Sky Stacker Live. Alright. Oh, well, we still have the Thor's helmet, too. I forgot about Thor's helmet. Oh, man. I guess we gotta do that, too. So we'll do Thor's helmet, and then M51, and then we'll call it a night. Does that sound good, everyone? I forgot we did that one. I forgot all about that. So we're going to change the top here. There we go, NGC 2359. There we go. Thor's helmet. We're gonna go through each image just to see how it looks. Good. 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 Looks perfect. Okay. We're gonna check them all, and then we're gonna start registering. And go. So let's see what this looks like. Thor's helmet. I think we'll be able to find ourselves again. Blank expressions, empty words. Nothing can keep me away from you. I think I will be holding on to the one thing that I know is stronger. Love is blind and no one told. So these were also 5-minute images, and we took 5 of these. So this is 25 minutes of exposure time of NGC 2359. Right now it's stacking number 3 of 5, so we got a little bit of time. So it's just gonna go through its thing. Alright, so it's stacking the 5th one right now. Alright, down saving the image. And now it's loading it. Oh, that turned out really good. Yeah, that turned out phenomenal. Alright, now we're going to save it. Alright, now it's saved. And then we're going to go back to Photoshop. And we're going to open up the last image, which is right here. There it is. So we're going to do the same thing. Is we're going to crop the image. There we go. Crop it out right there. There we go. So we crop the image. We're going to deselect. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Gonna do the gritty exterminator. And not much changed on that. We're going to do the horizontal banding. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to make the star smaller. Okay. Again, we're going to make this a little bit bigger here. There we go. Alright, I'm going to do space noise reduction. It's actually looking really good. Okay. Create a layer. And then we're going to do deep space noise reduction. Alright, so that's done. And then we're going to enhance the DSO. Which is going to take the most time. Welcome back, Kim. phone on the charger. Phone's gonna die. So almost done with this one here. The enhancing DSO. Alright, just finishing up the last section here for the screen layer. Almost done. No, I was saying welcome back as in like you left and then you came back. Just waiting for the section to finish here. Well, while we're waiting, actually, here's what we'll do. We will get the M51 up as well. Start doing that. Clear the list here. Alright, let's see here. Where the hell are they? Let's see. I know I saved them. save them too. Oh, I know where they are. They're on the other one. Okay. All right, it's finished. Okay, good. It actually looks really cool. Wow. So this is the original image here. And then this is the new one. That is really cool. That is really neat. We will take this down over here. So this way, now we have all the finalized images down at the bottom here. So we have the Seagull, which is IC 2177 on the right, a Bell 21 in the middle, and then NGC 2359 on the left, all at the bottom. Now, let's get to M51. Alright, so we'll do M51 and then we will call it a night. So this one is going to be the most intriguing of the night. We saved the best for last. Alright, this one's going to be in color. So we're going to take this in monochrome and make it color. It's going to take a little bit of work to do, but we'll be able to get it done. So let's get started. Alright. Oh, excuse me. Alright, we're just changing the histogram here a little bit to get it just right. So this way you'll see a little bit of detail. That's perfect. This is the red channel, okay? That's red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4, and red 5. And with this one, we're not going to do a region of interest. We don't need to, because we're going to be stacking these. So, stack these. So this is set 1, which is the red channel, which we took 6 3-minute exposures. So this is 18 minutes in the red channel. Alright, so it's just stacking the 6th one now. Alright, so now it's loading. So again, this is the red channel. So we're going to leave the RGB level exactly the same. We're going to take that to 100. Take that to 36. $136 and 63. That's perfect right there. Alright, so we're going to save this. M51R. And save it. Actually, we'll probably do 7, so that way we... Yeah, I probably like that a little bit better. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. Alright, so now it's saving it. Okay. And save. Okay. Now we're going to do the green. The green is next. So we're almost there, everyone. We're almost there. So now let's go back to open pictures. Okay. Then we are going to clear the list. So we go say bye-bye to the red. And now we do green. Which we took 5 green images. Or 6, I'm sorry, 6. So you can see the color, well, it's a lot lighter. So we have to bring it down. There we go. So that's the first one. This is the second one. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we'll use the first one because that seems to be the best one. So we're going to check all. And register and go. Alright. I think it's playing the same song twice here. Hang on. Which I'll get more organized with the music. So that way we'll be in good shape. Alright, so it's registering the pictures. Alright, so now it's saving. And now it's going to load the image. So we're on to green. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So this is M51 green. Alright, so now the green is done. And now we go to blue. Clear list. Yes, okay. And now we're going to do the blue. We took 6 blue. That's the first one. Second one. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Okay. No. Check them all. And go. So now we're doing the blue ones. This is the last channel. So then what we'll do is we'll get the red, green, and blue. And then we're going to have some fun. Now it's saving the image here, and then it's going to load the blue. Let's see what that looks like. That's good. That's perfect right there. Alright, so now we're going to save this one. And then we'll do M51 blue. Save. Alright, so now it's saved. So now we're going to flip this back to Photoshop because now we're going to combine the images. How cool is this going to be? Alright. So now we got our red, our green, and our blue. So here we go. Put this in here. There we go. Red, green, and blue. So there's your blue. There's your green. And there's your red. Okay. We're going to create a new canvas. Okay, so the new canvas is now here. Perfect. So now here's what we're going to do. We are going to go to channels. We're going to go to the red channel first. Alright. So deselect and then select all. Okay. Then we're going to move this over and then move it into what is the red channel. Okay. And now we're going to crop it so that way it's only directly on that. We're going to click RGB, which changes the color because it's just one channel directly. Okay, so now we're going to minimize the red channel. This goes bye-bye. Now we're going to go to green. Okay, then we're going to go to deselect, select all. Okay. And now we're going to move this into this one. And now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. And we're going to match the colors up here. Okay. Should be right there. That should do it right there. Okay. And now we'll go to blue. So now we'll minimize the green one. And then we'll take deselect, select all. Okay. And then we will take this one. Okay. There we go. We'll make this bigger. Alright, so you can see the colors starting to come in together here. And now we'll go back to layers. Okay, go back to here. Make a separate copy. And now we're going to use what's called HLVG, which is Hasta La Vista Green, which that means that gets rid of the green filter, and now this is going to give you a natural color. Okay. And now we'll do Gradient Exterminator. Actually, I don't like that. Get rid of that. Hang on. What I want to do is actually, I want to deselect it, and we're going to take a little small section. And yes, there's a dust mode. I don't have any calibration frames, but that's okay. We're going to crop that. There we go. Now what we'll do is we'll take the Gradient Exterminator, and that should work now. There we go, that's better. Okay. We can go to curves. There we go. Now we have more of a natural color to it. Okay. Make stars smaller. As you can see, the red channel's off by just a slight bit. I don't know why. Might have to fix that. See if I can. I don't know if I can or not. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. Okay, cool. Alright. Yeah, much better. Space noise reduction. Then we'll do an enhanced DSO. So now what it's doing is the enhanced DSO. Alright, so now that's done. Now we go back to here. Okay. And now let's see if we can pull out some detail. Hopefully we can. I mean, that's pretty darn good if you ask me. We can zoom out a little bit here. I mean, you got that damn dust mote, but other than that, it's looking pretty darn good. Definitely like the way it looks. Yeah, looks pretty good. It is perfect. That is absolutely beautiful. So that is it. That's what we got. We're gonna minimize this. Make this down a little bit lower. Minimize that. There we go. And that is all the images that we did for the process party. So we are done for the night. So I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight for the wonderful process party. Most likely in the next night or so, we are going to be looking at more microscope stuff. Which will be awesome. So we are done. I'm going to let a couple songs play. We'll let these next two songs play. And that'll be it. So I want to thank you guys for coming on in. And have a wonderful rest of your Thursday night. And I will see everyone tomorrow.
So I wear this smile fit for the place above. You know me, the truth gets heavier every night. I promise I'll be the one if you help me win this fight. Will you stay there with me? Will you stay with me in the dark? Will you stay with me in the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark? I don't care if you drag my name all through the mud. If you only knew how much I wanted to feel loved. Will you stay there with me? Will you stay with me in the dark? Will you stay there with me? Will you stay with me in the dark? Will you stay there with me? Will you stay with me in the dark? Will you stay with me in the dark, the dark, the dark, the dark? With lips like heavenly wine, you make my morning shine. With lips like heavenly wine, you make my morning shine. With lips like heavenly wine, you make my morning shine. With lips like heavenly wine, you make my morning shine. Will you stay there with me? Will you stay with me in the dark? Will you stay there with me? Will you stay with sunshine.